So it's decision time for me. Is the 3-iron staying in the bag? Is the 3 hybrid going in the bag? Or is it going to be a 7 wood? Let's find out. Right, so a couple of years ago, I did a video kind of comparing 2-iron, 2 hybrid, and 5 wood. And I had some really interesting results. And lately, I've kind of really, and I say toying with the idea, probably a bit more serious than that about putting a 7 wood in the bag. And I did a video a while ago comparing 7 wood and 3 hybrid. And had an awful lot of comments in there about, you know, why didn't you put the 3-iron head to head with them? It'd have been interesting to see. And I kind of made my mind up that 3-iron was definitely going out of the bag. But I've got the 3-iron here, and just part of me deep down still wants to have that 3-iron in the bag. So I thought it's the perfect opportunity to put the 3 clubs head to head, hitting some shots into the green, talk about the pros and cons for me between 3-iron, 3 hybrid and 7 wood, and hopefully something you guys can relate to, whatever the distance is that you're looking to be hitting with these clubs. Or it might be different lofts, it might be 9 wood, kind of 4 hybrid and 4-iron for you. But just to give you a bit of insight as to the way I'm thinking and how it could help your game. So just before we get into the video though, if this is your first time down watching one of my videos, welcome down to Ali Taylor Golf. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back as ever. I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch my content. If you're enjoying the video today and you don't currently subscribe, I'd love you to just take that second, click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. But for now, let's see which one of these 3, is it staying in or is it going in? Right then, so for me, this is, in my personal game, this is, I think, a really important yardage. It's one of those that probably looking maybe just a couple of yards longer than that I said in my video where I did 3 hybrid and 7 wood, so maybe 220 total. So I've come onto the 18th hole at Pebble Beach, second shot, obviously water left, which is dead, which is my bad one. Need to fly it just over 205 to get it on the green, but if it's a bit short, there is a very tight little run-up area. So this will really show with the clubs as to, does the club give me the kind of flight I'm looking for to get on the green on a regular basis? How forgiving are they? I'm just going to try and give you a little bit of feedback as to not just performance, but you know, why some of these clubs have stayed in my bag, why some of these could go in, and why I might still wrestle with the idea of putting something in, even if it performs really well. We're going to open up with 3-iron because that's what's currently in my bag. And I think for me, having grown up playing links golf and generally having always been, in my opinion, maybe not correct, but a good long iron player, I've always really liked the look of an iron behind the ball over everything else. And I do appreciate this kind of Cobra King utility. I'm maybe stretching it with calling it a long iron because it is a hollow head, so it's more forgiving. So there's definitely a little bit of technology in there, but let's hit into the green and see how the 3-iron works. So maybe just a little bit skinny. And we can see there, loving that as a start with a 3-iron. So carried 200, 4,300 spin, 35 yard peak height. That's a good result, isn't it, as an opener? So then let's go hybrid. So now obviously we're talking about slightly kind of deeper from front to back. Definitely think for me, and I've spoken about this a lot in hybrid videos, historically I've always hit the ball very left with hybrids. Don't tend to see it as much with the modern stuff, and particularly with this Ping G425, generally hit it pretty straight. So let's go again. Hybrid this time. That was a great 3-iron to open up with. So good strike, trying to turn. So just pitched on the down slope of the bunker. So not quite as much spin, a little bit more carry, and not actually quite as high as the 3-iron. Okay, so wasn't necessarily expecting that from the hybrid, but again, I'd take that shot from here. So 7 wood. This is definitely the one that I think the head tells me that 7 wood's probably going to be the club. Heart still says 3-iron. Don't know what tells me 3 hybrid at the moment, if I'm being honest. But let's go 7 wood. I know from testing this, a much, much higher ball flight generally. Now, out of the 3 shots, that was the worst strike. That was a bit out the toe. Clipped the tree with a little pushy one. So that's been the worst result so far. So let's go back to 3-iron, and I'm just going to kind of rotate on the clubs and give you some feedback, kind of how I'm hitting them. So that was very, very high. Spin was a little bit low, but all in all, there was some good numbers. That then was more the direction paw being down to me. Okay, so let's go 3-iron again. Had a ripper with this with the first one. Now, didn't feel like I got all of that one. No, a bit heavy, and that one coming down very short. Okay, so back to hybrid. Let's not allow for too much shape. Again, a little bit pushy. Is it going to miss the tree? You see that pushy one there? Losing a bit of distance. Very spinny, very high, and coming up a little bit short. And I would say I'm ideally not trying to leave myself 220 into a lot of greens, and I am realistic that I'm not going to hit loads of greens with one of these clubs. But it's just interesting for me to see, like I said, you know, between heart and head, there's a big spread on looks and feel. And certainly so far, nothing really jumping out on performance. Good strike, just turning a little bit with the 7 wood. Just carrying past pin high, but again, very high. Decent spin. Maybe just turning that one over, getting a couple more yards out of that. Right, so let's go 3-iron again. So I've had one exceptional one and one very poor one with 3-iron. That's much more like the first one. Just turning. Oh, and it's wet. It's wet. So again, decent high, a little bit too spinny. So let's go hybrid. Strike felt absolutely fantastic. Might be the best one yet. Oh, that is good. And well, I suppose if I hit hybrid like that every time, and this is what makes it tough, isn't it, when you're picking clubs, you know, we're seeing here that kind of the good one with any club is very, very good. It then becomes a little bit more of those ones that I don't quite strike and those ones I don't put the best swing on. How close to that target do they finish? 7 wood. We're not going to draw back from there. So it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I would say probably so far the hybrid's actually giving me the better results. So let's go 3-iron again. Just aimed at the trap, trying to draw it. It was a bit out the toe and not got there. And we can see that ball speed dropping off. So, hybrid definitely been the dark horse so far. Now that was a little bit bottomy, but it's still, look at that. That is still a very, very good result. Do you like that? And it is funny because I do think it's definitely the emotional thing with the hybrid that I don't like. And yet the more good shots I hit with it, the more I'm kind of maybe leaning towards the hybrid. But, you know, I kind of really like the flight the 7 wood gives me. Let's just go a little straighter. It's just super, super high. Oh, just thought that'd stop a little quicker than that with that height. 39-yard peak height, maybe just a smidge lower spin than I would have liked to have seen. Okay, so round 5, 3-iron. So I've had one exceptional one with the 3-iron. Maybe everything else not been great, so I could really do with this being top notch. Nope, a little bit toey again. Might chase there. It's a good miss, but really carry way down on where I need that to be with a bit of a miss hit. So I would say that's probably, that's definitely out the bag, I think. So then the dilemma is, if it had been choosing between the 3 hybrid and the 7 wood before this video, I would have hands down gone 7 wood. But this hybrid has just got me thinking that maybe, for the first time in a long time, a hybrid could go in the bag. Now that was a little bit thinny. Okay, greenside bunker, but I love that for one I haven't quite got. Yeah, a little bit of a bull at that one, but around the green, which I'd take on a par 5 in 2. So 7 wood. Maybe a little heavy. Oh, it's good again though, greenside bunker. Now I think that's quite tough, isn't it? So I think it's quite easy to see with those shots that 3-iron, as good as that exceptional first one was, there isn't that same level of forgiveness, even though it's a hollow-headed club. So it's definitely between the hybrid and the fairway wood. Now I'd love you, just drop me a comment below and let me know just right now which one of those 2 clubs, 3 hybrid or 7 wood, you think should go in the bag. But I'm just going to go one more round. It might just take a little bit more testing in my own time, this, but if this were down to a one-off shot head to head, let's see which one of these, if either, I can hit on the green from this range. Well, I've ripped it. That is, hang on. Oh, that's a good one. So it's not quite on the dance floor, but I can probably hear the band from there. Let's go 7 wood. And there was good height on that, 37-yard peak height, nearly 4,000 spin. So let's go 7 wood. Just felt a tiny bit heely. That's making that cut. A little bit wider, but very, very similar. It's a tough one, isn't it? So how am I going to decide as to which one of those 2 clubs is going to replace my 3-iron? Right, so when I looked at those shots into the green, 3-iron definitely looks small and it's big. You know, it's a chunky 3-iron. But I think when you look at performance there, the really good one is still great, but not enough all-round performance there. So that, I think, has to go. So then it brings me into a little bit of a dilemma, doesn't it, as to 7 wood or hybrid. Now, based on today, I would say just on performance, leaning towards the hybrid. But based on kind of my practice over the weeks and different videos I've done, I would probably have said 7 wood. So I would maybe say, disappointing as this sounds, I can't actually pick today from here. Now, what I would say is golf courses in England are going to open in the next couple of weeks, well, in 2 weeks' time. So they were off a perfect lie. So I think it'd be interesting maybe to put these 2 side by side in some semi-rough, in some poor lies, and see which one of these 2 gives the best all-round performance. But it's definitely shown that 3-iron is done. 3-iron is out of the bag. Is it an age thing? Is it an ego thing? It's just a performance thing. So, very, very close on those two. I think if you guys are looking to replace longer or mid-irons, you've got to look at hybrids and lofted fairway woods, see which works best for you, and then ultimately put in the bag the one that performs best, that you like the look of, you like the feel of, and you feel you can really build some confidence in. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you've enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, I'd love you to hit that button below, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.